Tonight we're going to look at Exodus chapter 16 and pulling out verse number 8, and we're going to discuss that for a few minutes. Exodus chapter 16 verse 8 reads like this. And Moses said, "This shall be when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full. For the Lord heareth your murmuring, which ye murmured against him. And what are we? Your murmuring are not against us, but against the Lord." Using for a topic, kind of a subject line here, just you say, this is a stick-up. This is a stick-up. And we say that it's because we can stand in our own way. And we can rob ourselves of our own blessing. We can rob others of their blessings about our attitudes, our actions, and our behavior. If you ever have watched a TV show about a robbery, someone goes in and they go in and they attempt to hold up a place, and sometimes they go in and they rob. They take what's not theirs from other people, and they take it for themselves. And then sometimes when the situation gets real sticky, they end up taking hostages. And when you take the hostage, you're holding a hostage for bargaining to get yourself out of trouble. Well, this is what we do in our lives when we disobey God. We take what He's trying to give us, and if we're disrupting each other, and we're stopping other people from learning, from loving, and from being kind to one another, if we're interfering in that, we're holding them hostage to what God has for them. We also rob ourselves of the blessing that He has in store for us by not heeding to His word. And dealing with the text in Exodus, it talks about how the children of Israel, this is after they had crossed the Red Sea and they went into the wilderness. As they're in the wilderness, they started complaining, they started griping, and they started murmuring about, oh, we don't have enough of this, we don't have enough to eat, we don't have any clean water to drink, we don't have this, you brought us out here so we can die, you brought us out here so God can turn His back on us. How soon they forgot how God had just rescued them and brought them out of imprisonment. And so they began to rob themselves. They held themselves hostage in the wilderness for 40 years because of their attitudes and their actions. They held themselves back from what God had in store for them because they were just complainers. And we can sit around each and every day and complain about our lives, complain about how this is not going right, how that is not going right for us. And we complain how I wish I had this and I wish I had that. And we are simply complaining. Every day you're doing that, you're robbing yourself what God has already blessed you with. You have forgotten about how far God has brought you. You've forgotten about all the situation that you've been in and He delivered you from. And now when you're complaining, the text says you're not complaining against us. You're not complaining against man. You're complaining against God. You're saying that yeah, you did this, but that wasn't enough. Yeah, I remember, yeah, I did. You brought me through this, but what about now? And we be patient enough and wait on God and allow Him to work in our lives, that we will see Him deliver us. If the Israelites would stop mumbling so much, and it says in the beginning of the text how He would give them manna and quail. That's the meat, that's the flesh they're talking about. He's going to give them that to eat. He's giving them bread from heaven. He's giving them water from rocks. He's making miracles happen right before them. Never before had they received food from the sky. Never before they had received water from a rock. But God is working in their face right there, providing these things for them, and yet they still complain. They still complain. So what we're doing, we're holding up. We're sticking up people. We're sticking up the church. We're sticking up our communities by our attitudes and our actions. Everybody got to spend all day, every day, trying to convince you to do what's right, and you already know. Then you're robbing that person and yourself of God's blessing. You're holding that person hostage if they have to constantly sit there and watch over you and deal with you 24/7. What other time they have for themselves? That's the same way if you had to watch over someone 24/7. You trying to keep little brother, little sister, little cousin out of trouble. but you have a life you're trying to live yourself too. So what they're doing, they're holding you up from what you need to do. So what you really want to happen is you want them to get their life on track, as if the other people want you to get your lives on track. People want me to get my life on track. So they wouldn't have to be there to hold my hand to make sure I didn't mess up. We have to do something good sometime before people can see it and release us. You see, once you go in, going back to the robbery scenario, the stick-up kid scenario, you go in and you rob the place, you hold these people hostage. In order to get out of this, you have to start letting some people go. You say, out of good faith, I'm going to allow this person to go. Out of good faith, I'm going to allow them to go, showing that you're willing to work this out and you're trying to calm the situation back down. It got out of control. And once it gets out of control, you have to find your way back into the goodness of God. Once you find out that you're out of control, that things just aren't going right, and you don't know why they're going right, but you need to turn around, but you get so far caught up in it that you don't know how to turn around. Well, I'm telling you how to turn around today. Just stop. If things seem so out of control, you can't get it together, you can't seem to get control back of the situation of your life, just stop. Stop wherever you are and whatever you're doing. Just stop. Don't make another step. Don't make another move until you hear from God. Until you figure out, if I'm going this way and everything I do seems to be falling apart around me, everything I'm doing is just causing me to have more problems, then maybe I should just stop, put it in reverse, go back the opposite that way. Ask God, what do you want me to do? Which way should I go? How can I get myself out of this situation? And once you do that, you're being delivered, you're being set free from the problems that you have encountered. I have went so far left that I don't know how to go back right. But if I just stop and I wait on God and I ask God to help me, ask God to come and see about me, and I allow him to guide me, then I'm on my way back into a right relationship, a right standing with him. Young men, you got to put yourselves in situations that you know that you're going to hear from God. You have to put yourself in situations that I'm going to trust God. I did everything else I want to do. I did everything else I tried. It's not working for me. So now I need to just stop. Rethink this situation. Turn back to God. Let him take control of it. Don't continue to hold yourself hostage. Because as long as you're putting yourself in dangerous situations, as long as you're putting yourself in situations that cause you to be in trouble, you're holding yourself up. You're your own hostage. Get out of your way. You have to get out of your way in order to grow. You have to get out of your way in order to get out of here. You have to get out of your way in order to move forward. You have to. Because sometimes we're our own worst enemy. Sometimes we can easily say, well, this person made me do it. This person dared me to do it. The devil made me do it. We can say all those things all day long. But sometimes it's your own fault. Sometimes it's you that's standing your way from the next level. So get out of your way. When you look in the mirror sometimes, just ask self to move out of the way. What's holding you up? Why are you angry all the time? Why are you upset all the time? Why are you mad with the world? We can say we got dealt a bad hand. But guess what? You can also fold that hand. You can fold. There's another game to be played. If you were dealt a bad hand, had a bad youth, a bad childhood, guess what? You don't have to keep living through that. You got through it. Now start living through it. And start standing up being who God wants you to be. Start standing up being a man. You're not a little kid anymore. If things happened to you when you were younger, I'm sorry. A lot happened to a lot of us when we were younger. But while you're at this point right now, you don't have to live that childhood anymore. You don't have to keep going through the same cycle. You can step out of it. If everybody else had forgotten about it, if everybody else had let it go, or you're not even around those people who may have caused you to hurt and pain, so what's holding you back now? What's holding you back now? And if you're being held back, just maybe you're holding your own self up. Because no one wants to stay in the same spot. You're put here to grow. You're put here to prosper. You're put here to influence other people. You're put here to make a difference. So now, it's up to you to do it. It's up to you to do it. So